This is John James Audubon. He was an American ornithologist, naturalist, and painter. That means he loved birds and nature and painting. He put his interests together to create tons and tons of paintings of birds in America. In fact, his most notable work was documenting all the types of American birds that he could find and creating detailed illustrations depicting the birds in their natural habitats. These works were combined into a book called The Birds of America, and it's considered one of the finest ornithological works ever completed. You can still purchase copies of this book with beautiful full-color prints based on his watercolor paintings. You can also purchase prints of his bird paintings. In fact, this picture of seagulls is one that I have in my own house. Since Audubon was both a scientist and an artist, he paid very close attention to detail and tried to make his paintings as realistic and lifelike as possible. His paintings capture close physical details of each bird, along with information about where they live and what they eat. This painting of a flamingo shows one bird up close and multiple birds far away, so we get to see different poses that their bodies can make. What's cool is that he also included scientific information in a lot of his paintings. So here you can see some drawings of the feet and the bill of the flamingo. He was very careful with details. While he worked hard to get the shapes and sizes of everything correct, he was also very careful with each brush stroke so that we can see in detail what the feathers are like and what the texture is like on each bird. This is an activity I like to call art in the margins. For this activity, a teacher would print a work of art on a piece of paper with a wide margin all the way around the image. Each student would receive their own copy of the image, and they would look really closely and then write in the margins of the paper all of the details that they see. A teacher can leave this wide open and let the students write down anything that they notice within the work of art, or they can set really specific criteria or parameters for what they want their students to be looking for. This activity addresses 3rd grade Science Standard 3.2.2 that asks students to identify patterns of traits that plants and animals have inherited from their parents. So by starting out having the students look very closely, you're starting to get them to see, notice, identify, and be able to write about the physical traits they see in the animal and the environment. This activity can also connect with 3rd grade Science Standard 3.2.5, where students engage in an argument from evidence that a particular habitat, some animals can survive well, some survive less well, and some can survive not at all. After they look closely at these images and write about them, you can have them make hypotheses or even do research about how the animal's physical traits can help them live in the environment that you see in the painting. This activity can also connect to 3rd grade Visual Arts Standard 3.V.R.2. That one asks students to analyze use of media to create subject matter, characteristics of form, and mood. And so in this case, you could look very closely and notice how the artist used brush strokes, texture, pattern, and color to portray the subject matter, the birds in their environment. In this project, you're going to use this image of birds called long-billed curlews. I want you to look really closely and write down everything you see about the physical characteristics of the birds and also about the environments that they live in. I'd like you to print out the image if you can and write directly on the paper and see what that might feel like for a student. If you don't have access to a printer, then you can open the image on your phone or tablet and write in by hand your comments, or you can open it in an app like Adobe Acrobat and use the comment function to type in your information like I did. Thanks and have fun with